Welcome to Synced On Air. We are brought to you by Turfs Up Radio. I'm your host, Angelique Robb, and I'm excited to have Philip Atwood with us today from Vessel. Welcome, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes, good to see you again and excited to have you on the show and yeah, hear a little bit more about your journey and becoming principal at Vessel. So, do you want to kick us off by introducing yourself and, why you started Vessel?
Sure. So I come from kind of a technical background, I guess you could say. So I started as a programmer, did that for a while, wanted a little bit more client interaction. So I kind of moved into like a systems analyst role where I was working with the client, but then actually working with the programmers as well, but wasn't doing the
Ah,
programming.
okay.
And then from there, kind of went into like a data reporting, pulling data and running reports for a bank. That was kind of a sales management tool for the sales reps and the sales managers there. And then all this time, I was kind of moonlighting ever since I graduated college, doing websites and graphic design. And so I kind of wanted to always be in that industry. So in
Okay.
2013, I was able to shift careers completely, became a marketing director for a manufacturer of a glass that was imported from, it was etched glass, patterned etched glass that was imported from Italy. And
Oh,
so
nice.
it was really cool. We made high-end European style glass kitchens and cabinet doors. So that was fun. I really fell in love with manufacturing, so I kind of wanted that to. I felt like was we were good at that, and so that's been our niche for a while. Now we're kind of branching out to other things too. Um, but yeah. So then in 2017, I met a ton of people during that time I was there. 2017, I quit my job, landed a pretty large project that helped us kick off, and that was when Vessel was born, and our full-time Vessel was born, and from there we've just been running nonstop. So
Fantastic. Well,
yeah,
thanks for walking us through that. Sounds like, yeah, you've had a quite a varied background to get you to this point, but I guess this is where your heart was all along then.
it was. And the cool part is everything that I've done in my career up until now kind of is playing a role at some point or another in what we're doing now at Vessel. So it's pretty neat to see how it all kind of tied together. So
Awesome. And so you said starting with manufacturers. So I mean the glass is kind of I guess it's in the building trade. I mean, do you find that you're more in a certain trade than others, or is it
well,
quite
like
a few industries?
yeah, so like up until now we've kind of varied industries, right? So like we specialize in we have a lot of manufacturing clients. We also have a lot of we moved into the shed industry, and that's kind of
Okay.
morphed into that. We've got other clients who build like outdoor kitchens and
Okay.
range hoods, products for your home. So that's kind of how we've somewhat landed in the landscaping area, is because
Okay.
we started working with that business in some outdoor kitchen type environments. And so a lot of landscapers now are starting to pick up and sell outdoor kitchens because they're coming
Yes.
in and kind of doing patios and other things. And so they've seen where kind of adding some of this outdoor living type products to their environment can help. And so we do marketing for a company that does all those outdoor living products. And so that's kind of what's
Okay.
landed us kind of into the landscaping industry as well. So
Yeah, well, and I think you mentioned sheds earlier too. I
mhm.
think that fits very well in with the outdoor living industry. I don't know if we should call ourselves landscape industry too much because some people think that's only in the grass cutting and maintenance side of things, but it
Gotcha.
is, like you said, outdoor kitchens, sheds, even outdoor offices.
Yeah.
And in California, I don't know if they're calling this all over the states, but ADUs, accessory dwelling units.
Okay.
So it's like home offices and or like a guest bedroom in
Sure.
your
Yeah,
in
and
your
we've got
outdoor space.
some of the same shed companies that we work with actually have a different division for like tiny homes and cabins and things like that
Ah,
as well. So Yeah, so we run marketing for most all of those.
Awesome, awesome. And so, but it's not just marketing. Um,
Right. So
it sounds like you're kind of a full service, um, you know, branding, everything.
yeah, so we're full service. We can do anything, for kind of my vision and my goal for Vessel was to be able to kind of just start working with a client at whatever level they're at and just kind of help them grow. And that
Mm.
so oftentimes extends beyond just a website or just, a brochure or whatever, like it's all encompassing. So anything from a brand to print materials to photography, videography, websites, any kind of digital marketing after you're up and running, Google ads, Facebook ads. Yeah, like we can pretty much do it all.
Awesome. Okay, a one-stop shop, huh?
Yep. I mean, that's the experience, right? Like our vision
Yeah.
is to just, like I said, start working with a customer and then like we're just there, we become an extension of your company and we're kind of your marketing partner and
Mm.
we're here for the long haul. I mean, we can kind of pick up clients and do a one-time project and then we're done. But that we would much rather build that relationship and kind of stay with our clients for, I guess the average tenure of most of our clients is probably 6, 7, 8 years at least. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we love sticking with you and helping you grow, and it helps us grow as you grow. So we kind of help each
Well,
other.
and that makes sense because in the evolution of a business, you do, I mean, just like you mentioned, you have some companies that are, starting to do outdoor kitchens. They used to
Mhm.
only do patio. Every company evolves. And so I guess, you know, by sticking with a company, you're evolving with them and
Exactly.
you're learning from the past, and it makes every experience or every next step a little bit stronger. So no,
That's
that
right.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Great. Well, and you have a topic to talk about today, which is really exciting because um, I don't know the answer to this. So, you want to talk about getting leads from your website and what landscape companies should expect and what they should, you know, they should know if they need to take a different direction or if they need to start improving their website. So,
Sure.
yeah, how do you want to start on that? That's a
Well, I've bullet listed about 37 topics here
Oh
that
my
we can. No,
goodness.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, no, I think we can dwindle it down to about 8. So I think we're good. So if you're good with it, we'll just start talking through these and you can
Of
stop me at
course.
any time and ask questions or whatever. But one of the things and that we do first of all is kind of evaluate when we start working with a new client is we evaluate their brand, okay? Because what's the use of getting 100 leads a month if they're not converting, right? And so
Yeah.
we like to focus on conversions and how that happens. I'll talk about a variety of those things, but like we feel that it starts with your brand. If a lead
Mm.
comes to your website and it's not the greatest brand, or they see a logo or something that doesn't register with them, or if it's like the topic that you're trying to generate the lead from, they land on the website and don't see anything about that topic, then it's kind of like, am I in the right spot? So
Mm.
conversion and getting your process streamlined is probably where we always like to start. And that
Okay.
includes like your brand. So there's part of our process that we do is called personas. And what that does is we work with our clients to identify who their audience is and who their ideal customer is. Because you kind of have to have, what they say, planned with the end in mind, right? So you kind of got to know who you want first so that we can tailor all of these processes to go after those people. Because otherwise you're just kind of shooting for everybody and then you get nobody, right? So
Yeah.
um, so that's where we like to start is developing personas, and that gives us an idea of exactly who your customer is and who you want to go after. So it's not rocket science, but we have our processes to do that, but you can sit down and figure that out. Who you want to go to, who you want to sell to. Beyond that, we do another process for branding where it's called an anchor statement, and we use that, and it's almost like a tagline. But what we do is we incorporate that kind of like your vision and goals of the business, right? We pull that back into the tagline so that it gives everyone kind of some a lens or glasses to look through, right? Filter through so that any marketing efforts, any communication done, or anything like that would all run through this one statement. So, for example, for Vessel, ours is called Be Set Apart. And so that helps us to know that, like anything that we do as a company, are we trying to set ourselves apart? And we help through that branding process. We identify unique identifiers, what makes you different, what makes you you, what sets you apart. And so therefore, we utilize that in a lot of our marketing efforts, and you combine that with this tagline or this anchor statement, and then it's just kind of helps streamline and makes it so much easier for your brand to have a voice and know where you're going.
Kind of like that home base. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Does
home
it is
based.
everything directing to that home
That's right.
base? Well, and you mentioned personas. Can you have multiple personas that you're targeting?
You can.
Um,
Yeah, if especially if you have different divisions within the company, you would want to
okay.
have at least one persona probably for each of those divisions. But yeah, we've worked with clients. It's just really hard to have more than maybe two.
Okay.
Maybe you might can have three, but it's like I said, it's very difficult to split your marketing efforts and kind of go in three different directions at the same time. So what we would
Mhm.
recommend is like maybe pick one, do some marketing in there, and see how what the response is, and then maybe shift at some point later.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good point. Good point.
Okay. So then, as part of the brand, it's not just about the logo or just about the anchor statement. So, in marketing, consistency is key, right? So whether that's your advertising space or whether it's the message you're sending, your brand voice. So what we do is we evaluate all the touch points at that point. So what is your social media channels saying? What are your business cards saying? What are your printed materials saying? Are they all pulling in the same direction as that anchor statement in the brand so that if a user goes and interacts with you in person at a trade show, are they getting the same message as when they go to your website
Mm,
and get all of that? So that's kind of step one. We evaluate all that, we get all the touch points kind of in line, right, with the brand and make sure everything's communicating properly. So we feel like that's the most, important kind of home base step, like you said. And then step two is where we dive into kind of the website. So you need to make sure that your website is designed for conversion, because if it's not, again, what's the point in getting all these leads if you're not converting them? Especially if you're paying for them through Google ads or Facebook ads or anything else.
exactly. Mm,
So what I mean by conversions, there's three or four things I can talk about. Like one would be like call to actions. So that would be a call now, schedule an appointment. What behavior are you wanting that user to take when they land on your site?
mm,
If you're not telling them to do anything, then at that point it's kind of they'll just read your site information based, and then they'll bounce and they're gone. So you've got to kind of tell the user what you want them to do. And that's so call to actions are important. You got to kind of have an offer, right? Like, so if you're maybe it's a discount off of your first service or something like that, that you can help. It just makes it easier for that person to choose to work with you, right? So
okay.
makes it a no-brainer.
Yep.
And the value of what you will gain from them as a customer over the lifetime will be more than what that discount is if your pricing's done right. So you'll be in a good shape at that point. Um, you know, high traffic pages that whether it's your like home page or whatever, you always want to make sure that there's forms on those pages so that you can capture the lead in their information. Um, so that consists mainly of like landing pages. If you know that you're going to be running ads through Facebook or LinkedIn or Google, then you want those to be based on, again, your personas and what keyword research is done to know what you want to rank for. And then you run ads based on those and have them wind up landing on those landing pages. And then you're kind of the conversion equals you getting their information because they want to work with
Yeah.
you. They want to gain something from you. Um, so
Do
having
you
those,
recommend, sorry, do you recommend, I've noticed some people have little chat bots. Do you recommend that for
yeah, so
your,
that's actually my next step. So
oh, sorry. Okay.
no, you're good. You're
I don't want
good.
to
Good to
interrupt you.
go. So no, so that was where I was going next. So yeah, you can put a live chat on the website. And a lot of the times those are ran through what we call a CRM system, customer relationship management, which I'll talk more
Mhm.
about that in a minute. But like the live chat is a great way because you can actually, when customers are on your site or users are on your site at that particular moment, if they have a question, someone's there available to talk to them and answer that question and communicate with them, and you might can help close the lead even faster than them having to fill out a form. Maybe they don't want to do that. But we recommend keeping the forms as short as possible. If you see a form that has 67 fields on it, like, are you going to want to take the time to fill that out? So when you're trying to capture users, I would probably just say name and email address, or name, email, and phone number at the most. Um, but yeah, so all those are things that you can do to kind of help generate leads off of your website. Um, you can also do what we call like white papers. So it would be, maybe for the landscaping industry, it would be, 8 reasons to hire something for an outdoor living or patio, whatever. So you would build that into a PDF, and then you would ask the user for their information in exchange for that download. So that's called a
Okay.
white paper or download.
Yeah.
And so that will oftentimes intrigue people enough to give you their information. So you want to make that PDF intriguing and knowledgeable so that they're actually learning something from it. Um,
Hmm.
so that's one way. And then testimonials is another. Google reviews, any kind of testimonials that you have from prior clients, get all of that information on the website, and you start working all these things together. It's like a big wagon wheel. As you start turning, you got all these different cogs of the wheel kind of rolling together. And that's
Okay.
where all the power comes from, is like all these things are pulling in the same direction, and you start generating leads from that.
Okay.
So
Great.
so that's just from the website side. And then you can do other things like blogs or emails, email management, email marketing. You can send out marketing to any list members that you have already. Um, or you can write blogs about topics in your industry, and then Google will continually find those, helping you rank higher. But then the last thing I had was really just like what we call a CRM, or a customer relationship management. So um, if you don't have a tool for all of these leads to kind of download into and help you manage them, then again, you're not going to be able, if you're getting any kind of quantity of leads at all, you're not going to be able to manage and keep up with them. So this customer relationship management software would help you kind of, you would download automatically in there. You can do email blasts from there. So it's just kind of like a one-stop shop for all your marketing efforts. You can pull in all your Google ads, your ad spend, your ROIs, and all that kind of stuff. This will track, depending on which one you get. Some do more than others, but it can help you like kind of track and streamline all your marketing efforts into one. So it allows you to integrate that with your website, and then any leads that come in is
And so as a company, you would handle all of this for
mhm.
your clients.
Yep.
Because I guess I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is a lot of work. So, you know, business owners could be going, oh my goodness, I have so much more to do now. Um, but you could handle that on behalf of the clients that you have.
Sure. And again, everybody's story is different, right? So it may be that, some people have more of a budget than others. And so they may say, well, we can't afford to do all of this right now. So what we've done in the past is kind of come up with phases, right? That we could say, okay, we're going to do phase one now, where we focus on your brand and getting your website up and running. And then kind of phase two turns into more of the lead generation phase, right?
Hmm.
And so that's where your Google ads start, your social media starts, and all that stuff. Once the brand's up and running, the website's good and geared for conversion, your keyword research has been done. So yeah, like it's a lot to it, but just like any trade, right? Like you can talk specifics and it scares people, but I wouldn't there are a lot of easy steps that you can do in here too. Like if your website doesn't have a conversion or a CTA, a call to action, like go put one and just test
Yeah,
it and see how it works.
quick
And
and easy. Yeah.
yeah, integrate a calendar into yours so that you don't have to spend the time booking meetings with people. They can book it automatically. Stuff like that that would just help streamline and efficient, make your processes more efficient. But that CRM is a huge tool to help you do that as well. Just because you can communicate back and forth and track different things of like what pages they're going on the website and things like that as well.
Well, and I also think that come springtime, no matter where in the world you are, landscape business owners get overwhelmed with the amount of inquiries that you're getting on a website,
Mhm.
and you can lose or not get back to people. So again, it's, once you're getting these leads, then, don't forget about them. Like, how do you, yeah, have a
Yeah,
system to make sure you don't not get back to people, because there's been a lot of studies based on how quickly you get back to people
sure.
who they go with. So again, speed and accuracy, I guess, is
Yeah, for
important to
sure.
have when you get back to these leads.
Yeah, and we call that speed to content, right? So when
Okay.
a new user comes to the website, how fast can they find what they need? And
Oh,
then how fast can you get back with them after if they have a question or if they're looking for something from you, like an answer. And so a lot of that, that's where a lot of the CRMs now will offer like an automation type phase, right? And so this is what we call lead nurturing. And so what you can do is utilize this CRM to help you, and you can set up all these automations and what we call like drip campaigns or email campaigns. And so what that would do is like if a lead comes in and they don't seem like they're super hot, or what we call a warm lead where they're ready to purchase right then you
yeah.
can put them into some kind of automation to where you can say, okay, we're going to send email number one, and then we're going to see how they respond. And you can almost build out this whole programmatic response system to where they're like, okay, if they open number one and they click to go to the website, then we're going to do this. Otherwise, if they don't respond or don't open the email, we're going to wait 5 days and then send email number two. And depending on what
Okay.
the response does there, so you can build that out as deep as you want or as shallow as you want. And but that's where the value in the CRM comes in, because even though they may be expensive sometimes, that automation can have all of these processes running while you're out doing what you focus on. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's very powerful.
yes,
Yeah, and I think that as an industry, there's, as you're growing your business, there's always a point where you get overloaded with calls
for
and you
sure.
can't, deliver, and that's hurting your reputation um
It is. It's
instantly.
providing a bad user experience, right?
Yeah. And we don't need that. So
That's right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Awesome.
so, to say that and to piggyback off of that, like a lot of the people in the landscape industry that I've talked with, they always kind of have the mentality of like, I'm so busy I can't even see straight, or I've got so many leads I can't keep up now. Why do I need to market? But what they, are not thinking about is at some point those leads may dry up, or if the economy tightens up, there may be a time where people aren't willing to spend their money, and so that's where marketing comes in. And at that point, it's too late. So you kind of need to
Yeah,
be marketing during the good times so that when the bad times come, you're already ahead of the game as opposed to
you've
trying to
built.
ramp up, because it takes so much
Yeah.
time to get it up and running. And
Well, not only that, but I also think that, and I've been in this position before with my company, is that you have so many leads, but you haven't qualified them yet. And
right,
actually, by the time you know, either go, I mean, how we used to do it is go and visit every, homeowner. We were in residential design and build. By the time we visited them, gave them a price for the design or the construction or both, we only had a 50% retention rate.
Hmm.
So then actually, you know, we might have lots of leads, but if only half of them convert or even a third of them convert to real work, then we're actually wasting a lot of time.
Right.
And and that's what I'm saying, like going to these leads in outdoor services, we are often driving somewhere, spending our valuable time to meet people and give them possibly free advice before you know if they're actually a good lead. So I think, you know, that's something else that you talked about earlier is, trying to get that the right lead by defining your persona and everything like that. That helps weed out um, the time wasters. And we all know, that some people want designs done for free and, patios done for half the price of everybody else on in the market. And
Right.
and really, that is a waste of your time and a waste of the client's time. And probably the costs are astronomical if you added up your fuel, your time,
Oh.
your your overheads
Yeah, for
for
sure.
wasting your time doing
Yeah,
that.
and it keeps you like, you know, a lot of what we can do is via Zoom, right? So I don't have to drive as much, but in the landscape industry, yes, I feel like it's more of one of those industries where everybody's expected to meet in person, or you need to go and scope the project out and then before you give a quote, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, if you go and spend, an hour looking at the property or whatever and figuring out what the request is, and then you at that point go back and you work the quote and you give them the quote, and then it's like, you know, double what the budget they have, right? Like all
Yes.
that time is wasted. So if you could somehow figure out how to qualify them through a marketing process or a form on your website, then all of a
Hmm.
sudden now you can be doing other things, and as defined in your personas, whether or not that person is actually going to be, because you maybe could list out these are our typical costs for projects or something, and if they
Yeah.
know that they can't afford that, then maybe they would bounce and you would never spend time on those. So
Yeah. So, and that's a good point, what you're saying, because I have seen some landscape companies actually put, we don't do projects under $10,000,
right.
um, or a minimum spend, or even, um, you know, I've seen, like this project is this cost and, some way to,
Mhm.
and I think that's good because it's educating. I know that it can be scary to do that because you're like, well, what if the access is bad and what if this is bad? But um, I do feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't know how much things cost. And they
Sure.
look at a beautiful outdoor living project on your website and they go, I want that. And, so I guess my question to you is, do you actually recommend to clients that they put pricing on their website, even if it's a service, like outdoor kitchens or patios? Do you think that that helps overall, or do you think there's a risk there?
Well, I mean, I think again, marketing is about testing, right? So, I think you could, we've had clients do both. They put prices on for a while, then they take it off, and then we put them back on, and then we take them off. And I think
Okay.
it just depends on you and how comfortable you feel discussing pricing with your clients. I think sometimes it can limit the number of leads that you get and push them towards quality leads versus quantity of leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they see, okay, I only do projects that are 25,000 to 50,000 and they've only got 10,000 to spend, they're not going to call you. Whereas,
Yeah.
if the economy is hard right now and leads are hard to come by, then you may be willing to talk to that person and maybe you can upsell
Yeah.
or maybe you can do something else. But like, so I think it just depends on a matter of options, right? Like how
Yeah.
comfortable you are with upselling, or is
Or
the
your
economy
strategy.
bad? Or if you have more leads than you can handle, then that's where I would turn on the quality versus quantity and start filtering those leads out. But if you're
Yeah.
needing leads, then maybe you want to relax it a little bit so that those people would actually call, and then you can,
You can build the trust with them
yeah,
and do a small project in hopes
sure.
that it grows. Um, no, that's a really good point. And I think, yeah, 2024 hasn't been the easiest of years either. So then,
Right.
you want to make sure that I think it could be scary if you're used to getting 30 or 40 leads a month and then all of a sudden you get
Yeah.
none. So then,
Yeah. Well, and during COVID, that was where everything kind of flipped on its head, right? Because like
Mhm.
people were at home and they wanted to spend money and they wanted to do things there. And now it's kind of back to the way it was before, if not worse, from a busyness standpoint, right? To where
Yeah.
everybody's doing stuff and everybody wants this and that and they want it now, right? So I just think use automation tools as your friend to kind of help, get you down the road farther to where you're not having to spend your time in some of these things. So,
Well, and I think that as and I think it's not just the landscape industry. I think a lot of um, home services are struggle to get back to people. I mean, you talk about joiners and electricians that are coming and doing stuff inside your house. It seems to be the same thing. That because all of these trades they get swamped and then quiet, and they do struggle to nurture their leads. So I think that is something that everybody needs to do better.
sure,
So that's a really good point. And treat them the way you want to be treated. You know,
absolutely.
yeah. Great. Well, so how many leads should you get from your website? Is there a magic number?
I wish there were, right? Like you could just flip a switch and say, I want 75 leads per month. Boom. And just it would make it happen. But again, a lot of that, like with Google ads or Facebook ads, a lot of that will determine on your ad spend, right? So like how much budget money that you have to put in is how many leads you'll get out. And so it also depends on like how well you're ranking from an SEO perspective, like organic ranking. So doing all these things and keeping like blog posts and emails going to where there's fresh content all the time will help you rank more organically. And then you'll notice leads will tend to be more consistent over a long period of time if you can rank better. But then
Mhm.
with Google ads, you're just paying for the ads, so the more you pay, the more leads you get, so it just
Yeah.
depends on, you got to find that sweet spot with, if I spend this amount of money, and I think over time you do, but like if I spend this amount of money, it usually returns about this many leads, and I can't deal with that many leads. So we're going to turn it down a little bit. And you kind of got to
Okay.
find that sweet spot of like what you can handle. Cause I could say, we'll bring you 200 leads a month, but if you can't work but 25 of them, then you're
Yeah.
wasting money and wasting time. And it will make yourself look like you don't return phone calls and
Well,
you can't
you're
handle
not
the
able to
traffic.
deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd rather
Yeah.
spend a much less amount of money on Google ads and get you 50 leads a month or 25 leads a month, and they be true quality leads to where you can close those and convert those and turn them into clients.
Now, I don't know if this is too difficult of a question to answer because I know you've said you try to meet clients where they are, but if there are landscape businesses listening to the podcast that have never hired a marketing company,
Hmm.
they've maybe, done a website 10 years ago or however long ago, and then, they've just done the things individually.
Sure.
And what kind of budget should they, and I don't know if that's maybe a percent of revenue or, how do they know when they can afford to, come to you with a, and get marketing help from a company like yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, just like us, like we're telling you to do personas and find your ideal client, right? Our ideal client is one that would be willing to keep an open mind and like let us phase the project out if we need to, but like we're not going to just turn a project away because it's too much, and we don't like having those conversations. I come at it as more of a, hey, what do you have? And let's see what we can do to tailor like a 2, 3 year plan for you, and that'll help you grow. But I would say, again, it's like, do you want to buy a Chevrolet or do you want to buy a Ferrari? I mean, people have
Yeah.
desires and people want how fast you want it to go too. Like, that's the bigger thing is like, we can turn this much faster if we have more money. But if not, and we have
Okay.
to phase it out. But, I'd say, um, in an overall marketing plan, for some of the larger companies that we work with, you're probably looking at between 75 and 100,000 a year. And that's to run everything for you. A
Okay.
lot of people don't have those kind of budgets. And so it might be $10,000 or $15,000 or $5,000. And
Hmm.
so what we do is we kind of take whatever budget they have and kind of look at it and say, okay, well, if this is all you can spend now, let's tweak our plan, and we'll do
Yeah.
this now. We'll do a phase 2 approach next year and then a phase 3 approach next year. And so,
Okay.
and it may be that you're not getting a 45-page website either. So, it might be that, well, let's just build you a 2 to 3 page website right now that will do better and convert for you faster than or better than what your existing site will do. And then we can spend the remaining money on your brand or, on some ads or whatever to get you some traffic. So,
Yeah.
um, I would say probably the minimum is probably 5 grand, and that would get
Okay.
you started into like where can we go from there, right?
Yeah.
Um, Anything less than that, and we don't have enough time in the budget to really make a difference, you know?
Well, and I guess that's what I wondered. You talked about, you have to understand so much about the business. So you have to do a chunk of work to be able to get deep enough into the business to understand how to help.
Sure.
So I think you've given us quite a big range and, a starting budget. So I think that that helps people understand, okay, if I've never done this before, this is what I need to, have to kick it off. So I think that's a great starting point. And yeah, why don't you tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, your
Sure.
website and stuff like that, so people can follow up as a
Yeah, there you
CTA,
go.
just like you're teaching.
So like, and what I will throw out there is that like, we wanted to do something special for this podcast or whatever. So, we do offer like a free, what we call a free discovery call.
Okay.
So we're willing to give like 60 minutes of our time to dig into your business and figure out like, hey, what can we do to help you? If you're not a good fit for who we are, then I'll tell you that, or we'll tell you that up front. Otherwise, we'll say, okay, are you willing to go to a deeper discovery call? Usually it takes maybe 1 to 2 calls until we really figure out and have everything, depending on how many issues you have that we need to solve, right?
Yeah.
But usually that 60-minute call is enough for smaller businesses. So, but we're willing to do that for free. So
Oh,
all you'd
wow.
have to do is go to our website, and it's choosevessel.com. And there's plenty of call to actions there that say schedule appointment. You click on that and it'll take you to my calendar,
Okay.
and you can book a discovery call whenever it's available in a time that you could meet. And then yeah, we would just have a Zoom call for 15 or 20 minutes and see if, I can identify immediately whether you're a good fit for us or not. And if so, we'll continue to the 60-minute discovery call. And if not, um, I'll let you know that up front. And because we don't want to
Awesome.
waste anybody's time. But
Yeah.
so that would be kind of the next step. So I would just say choosevessel.com and click on a link there and book a session with us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks, Phil. And I can put those details in the show notes too. So
Sure.
people can have that as, a link to click on. So thank you so much for being on our show
You are
and
welcome. Thank you for
look
having me.
forward to catching up with you again.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.